afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. New Finance Minister SITUMBEKO MUSOKOTWANE to cheapen US dollar on the Zambian markets. Over 35 parliamentary election petitions filed in the LUSAKA High Court. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your Zambia mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 kwacha. Be empowered with Zambia mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zambia, your digital lifestyle partner.
In other media news, in detail, some refugees that have lived under Zambia bad conditions have called on the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to have them repatriated to their countries of origin. In an interview with Camnet TV, some of the refugees residing in Lusaka's Chivolia compound say that they have been making the repatriation calls for years but to no avail. Meanwhile, UNHCR Protection Officer Leah Aumbo has called for patience among the refugees, stating that people who are of priority at the moment are those that were extremely vulnerable, stating that the process of resettlement has been further slowed down by the coming of the coronavirus.
She is one of the many refugees in the country who have fled from their nations due to war. Mpwekelani Mwanza, 75, came to Zambia from the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1993 and has been trying to get resettled in a state country since then. Ms. Mwanza narrates to Camnet News that her family of 3 is struggling to have decent meals as they are living in dire poverty. She also explains that her children do not attend school, which is making her worried for their future. According to 2021 data from the United Nations High Commission for Refugees UNHCR, an average of 600 refugees come into Zambia per month, with the majority of them being from Congo DRC. The country also has refugees from other countries like Somalia who have also narrated the same challenges. UNHCR Protection Officer Ms. Leah Uambo, speaking to Camnet News, states that the high number of refugees and the limited number of state countries is what is causing delays in resettlement for them. Ms. Uambo explains that Zambia currently has about 101,000 refugees.
And this depends on the requests that we have from these countries. Now, to be able to get access to resettlement, we usually work with the different criteria as we've been given by these countries of resettlement. It is not just at the privy of UNHCR, but UNHCR works with different partners, that is the government, other partners, and this is done through a panel of protection that decides on who is the most vulnerable. Issues of health, like for instance, persons who have medical conditions that cannot be handled here in Zambia. We also have people who have other issues that make them not be able to integrate into the society or be able to work and continue to earn a living and achieve a certain level of reliance.
The UNHCR Protection Officer, however, states that while it is not possible to have them all resettled, efforts to empower them through methods like agriculture are being made. For now, it seems these refugees will have to wait as the Commission also explains that the process of resettlement has further been slowed down by the coming of the coronavirus. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Newly appointed Minister of Finance SITUMBEKO MUSOKOTWANE has charged that his government will ensure that it depreciates the United States dollar on the Zambian market through the investment policies it has planned to put in place. Speaking at a media briefing shortly after being sworn in as the new finance minister, Mr. MUSOKOTWANE says government resources have been wasted by the former administration, limiting government's capacity to employ more people as well as increase salaries for civil servants. He says his government will ensure that no resources go to waste by limiting unnecessary trips and workshops in the civil service.
The Zambian economy has been poorly performing over the past few years, and the United Party for National Development (UPND) has been described as a new hope that will liberate the Zambian economy. With so much expectation from the Zambian people, pressure has been mounting on the head of state with regard to when he intends to announce his new cabinet. To that end, President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed SITUMBEKO MUSOKOTWANE as the new finance minister commencing Friday 27th August 2021. And speaking shortly after his appointment, Mr. MUSOKOTWANE has assured that his administration will ensure that the US dollar depreciates on the Zambian market.
And you'll be amazed how much foreign exchange this country is going to make this price of gold. You will not know what to do with the dollars that this country will be receiving. Our problem may just be the dollar becoming too cheap as we drive this process. We are going to make sure that there is value addition.
Among many other promises, Mr. MUSOKOTWANE is confident that his government will revive the mining sector in order to increase forex in the country.
We will push hard to make sure that our mining sector expands. The mining output has been stuck for the last 10 years at about 800,000 metric tons of copper per year. We are going to push aggressively so that mining output in the next 10 years comes to something like 3 million tons. By the end of this current mandate, we want to push mining output to something close to 2 million tons per annum from 800,000.
And while the former government had in 2020 contracted the foreign financial advisor Lazard Farrell at a cost of $5 million to restructure the debt situation, the debt has not improved but only worsened over time. And Mr. MUSOKOTWANE, when asked if his government will continue to engage the foreign advisor on the debt restructuring, the minister had this to say.
We will look at the situation. We said it without total information. We will look at the situation. If our fears then are confirmed, then of course it takes a different route. But if we feel there might be some value, who knows? So we'll look at the situation, make a recommendation to the president, then we agree on the way forward.
And the finance minister also assured that he will continue to engage with the IMF to ensure that a consensus is reached by September of 2021. Among other things, jobs, new companies, new investment and more resources in the economy have been promised by the government. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Bureau of Forensics Zambia founder Wilson Kalembe has challenged former Minister of Water Development Raphael Nakachinda to stop behaving like a Pharisee by demanding that the new government fixes the economy in 100 days. Mr. Kalembe says the Patriotic Front government messed up the economy in almost 2 decades. He says Mr. Nakachinda must instead use his binoculars on fraudulent activities such as the 42 fire tenders, 48 houses and ambulances quoted at high prices and fake medicines. And Mr. Kalembe has challenged former Minister of Home Affairs Stephen Kampyongo to remain quiet as the economic damage done by the PF is unimaginable.
Binoculars and concentrate on productive issues. It is you and your tandem of thieves in the PF that destroyed this economy. And HH is not an angel. He has promised the Zambian people that he's going to fix the economy. And the fixing of this economy will not take few days or even years. because the damage you cause to this economy is so huge. I don't want you to go into details. Leave HH to do his work. Your time was given to you and you messed it up. So just keep quiet. Let the UPND execute their manifesto. There's nothing wrong to provide checks and balances, but I think you must be the least person, the last person to start training the UPND. Looking at how damaging you have been to the economy, the thefts that have been taking place under the PF government, in which you are part of it. So there is no logic for you to start now training the UPND.
In other news, more than 35 parliamentary election petitions have so far been filed in the Lusaka High Court. The petitioners are claiming that the elections in the selected constituencies involved vote buying, corruption, attacks, and therefore were not free and fair. The petitioners, who are majority UPND losing candidates and few independent candidates, are seeking that the court orders the ballot papers relating to respective constituencies parliamentary elections to be scrutinized, verified and recounted. Meanwhile, the court is expected to hear and deliver judgment within 90 days after 14 days of filing in parliamentary petitions.
By Friday afternoon, the 27th of August 2021, the Lusaka High Court was already flooded with more than 35 parliamentary elections petitions. Candidates across the political divide, majority being UPND candidates and few independent candidates, have taken their cases to the Lusaka High Court seeking a reversal of their losses. Among those being petitioned is former General Education Minister David Maumba, who got 15,131 votes against his challenger, independent candidate Kaputa Chisakula, who scooped 163 votes. Others petitioned are former Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo and former Lusaka Mayor Mao Sampa. The losing candidates allege that the winners were involved in various forms of malpractices, bribery, corruption and violence. The petitioners are now seeking that the court orders that the ballot papers relating to the respective constituencies parliamentary elections be scrutinized, verified and recounted. During the 2016 general elections, the Lusaka High Court had about 29 petitions, while in 2011 general elections there were over 50 parliamentary petitions. It seems the number of petitions keep increasing, and by Monday, probably more than 40 petitions would have been filed. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. New Finance Minister SITUMBEKO MUSOKOTWANE to cheapen US dollar on the Zambian market. Over 35 parliamentary election petitions filed in the Lusaka High Court. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Thank you for joining me. Remember to always wear your mask, avoid crowded places, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Stay safe and good afternoon.